and today I'm going to be reviewing Brandon Sanderson's The Rithmatist, which is a YA novel. In this novel, we follow the life of a boy named Joel Saxon, who is a student at the prestigious private school known as Rithmatist Academy. As the son of a deceased chalk maker and a cleaning lady, Joel fails to fit in with most of the student body, which consists largely of individuals from affluent families. Joel's love of rithmatics, which I would describe as a magic which involves drawing with chalk and then imbuing these chalk drawings with life, a desire to become a rithmatist, just a practitioner of this magic, alienates him further from the rest of the student body. Most of Rithmatist students leave for summer vacation, leaving Joel alone with those who failed their classes, as well as the Rithmatists are forced to continue their training in preparation for their impending battle at the Tower of Nebraska. Joel's summer elective involves working as a research assistant for Professor Fitch, a famous Rithmatist and historian who specializes in defensive rithmatic lines. At first, Joel is disappointed when he realizes he will just be maintaining records of past censuses. However, when rithmatic students go missing, the police seek Fitch's help in cracking the case. Since he spends the summer working with Fitch, Joel is reluctantly asked to help, and Melanie Munns, Fitch's remedial student, eventually joins the hunt as well. Can the trio solve the case before it's too late? I absolutely adored this novel. I think it might have been one of the best books I've ever read in my life. I really enjoyed it for several different reasons. First of all, I think the novel maintained a really great pace. It took time to build up to major plot points before revealing them in a whirlwind, which, quite frankly, swept me away over and over again. Second, I appreciated the fact that Sanderson chose to develop a new magical discipline involving chalk. I would argue that this loosely resembles summoning in the sense that rithmatists can create chalk drawings and then bring them to life, but it's definitely its own distinct discipline. It involves both defensive and offensive uses and resides entirely within two dimensions. Obviously, summoning begins in two dimensions, but often matures into a third if done properly because whatever creature is summoned is brought into this dimension. I also appreciated the great lengths Sanderson went to when it came to explaining rithmatics. The novel included diagrams, which here's an example of the Jordan defense. Including diagrams as well as pictures with fairly in-depth descriptions which describe each of the magical form's components. The diagrams included each line's and strategy's abilities, including strengths and shortcomings, and it was obvious that Sanderson put a lot of thought and time and effort into the development of this magical discipline. Third, I was blown away by the amount of detail Sanderson poured into intense scenes such as battles between rithmatists and attacks made on Rithmatist Academy's student body. Instead of leaving me with, just a mere impression of what was going on, Sanderson took the time to create and paint clear pictures of the novel's plot. As a result, I began to feel like I was a part of the novel, an observer who never had to guess what was going on. Fourth, Sanderson created a host of well-rounded, well-thought-out, interesting, and relatable characters. Joel Saxon is a prime example because he is passionate about rithmatics. It's not often that one finds an adolescent who is truly passionate about something. Thus, finding an individual such as Joel, who is driven by their passion, felt truly refreshing to me. Joel is relatable because he wishes that his acquaintances were interested in rithmatics like him, or at least as interested in it as he is. He's also extremely smart, excelling in several of his courses. Naturally, he prioritizes those that he's interested in this case, rithmatics, and procrastinates and ignores things that he's not as interested in, things such as math. However, Joel's status as an outsider is what makes him the most relatable to us as readers. Joel remarks that Rithmatist Academy's student body treated him with civility, but they didn't include him. Joel was ostracized not only because he was a member of the lower class while they were members of upper classes and middle class at the low end, but he was obsessed with rithmatics and rithmatists. His status makes him relatable because we have all been ostracized at some point during our lives. Another character who is both likable and relatable is Professor Fitch. He's a kindly old man who really likes to sleep, and honestly, so do I. That's relatable for me. He is also a talented rithmatist and rithmatics professor. Despite his skill, Fitch is riddled with anxiety and self-doubt. He breaks under pressure, he struggles during duels and with combat. His relatability stems largely from this self-doubt, which is something that everyone contends with at some point during the course of their lives. I also thought that Melody Munns was another interesting character. She's free spirited and a student of Rithmatics who is far more interested in sketching and relaxing than actually becoming a Rithmatist. She also struggles with the sense that she's living in her older sibling's shadow. They're all talented Rithmatics students, and she struggles to draw basic lines. Finally, I appreciate the fact that The Rithmatist was a social commentary which subtly argued that racism, classism, and segregation are ridiculous. At her medius, there is a separation between Rithmatics and others. As the novel progresses, Sanderson reveals that this separation has a negative effect on the student body. The students cannot protect one another from outside threats when they remain divided and segregated. Furthermore, the separation creates unnecessary tension between groups and instills a sense that Rithmatists are better than the non-Rithmatic students. And this is something that you see a lot when you consider how they interact with each other, the non-Rithmatic group and the Rithmatic group. This mindset is clearly false, and Sanderson demonstrates that the students cannot solve their current problems without each other's help as the novel progresses. The only thing which I didn't like about the Rithmatist was Professor Nalazar. I realize we're not supposed to like him because he is a main antagonist, but still. I honestly despise this character because he's arrogant, he's obnoxious, and he's a bully. He also supports the segregation of Rithmatic and non-Rithmatic students, which put a really sour taste in my mouth. However, Nalazar's unpleasant nature was unable to color my view of this novel. The Rithmatist was absolutely amazing, and I highly suggest that you take the time to read it. Ultimately, I give it a 5 out of 5 stars, which is the highest rating I've ever given a book. And I think you should go read it. I don't think you're going to regret doing so. I hope you all liked my video and take some time to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a great day.